since then, tripled. So let's finish the job. Ban them again. Do it now. Enough. Do something. Do something big.
Folks, $1,000 is confirmed as a stimulus number for people. Many are now considering new state inflation checks, and one state is set to send out $1,000 a month to people. But there are strict eligibility requirements for this, so make sure to watch to the end to see if you can get this. Lawmakers are in the process of creating new ways for Americans to receive relief during this time. Up to $1,000 in crisis pay is available for the eligible people, and now workers must have earned at least $150,000 annually or less to be eligible for this check. The $30 million premium pay program has officially kicked off. State officials have said on Monday that there is more behind-the-scenes work to do because it's not done yet. Even the states are saying that Connecticut's essential workers would have gone above and beyond during this time to keep the state safe and running. The new premium pay program is another way for us to return a favor. Funding for the initiative was included in the new state budget, approved by a Democratic lawmaker. Now, sometimes dubbed the hero pay, the funds will be distributed to critical workers, grocery store employees, and also non-government medical staff who were on the job between March 10th and May 7th, but weren't able to work from home. Union officials in Connecticut have even said that more money is needed to compensate all the essential workers who risked their lives during this time. Over in Idaho, Senator Scott Grow has an idea for property tax relief. He will provide a bill, direct tax relief to homeowners through two funding mechanisms that would first take 4.5% of the state's sales tax revenue and direct it to a credit on property tax. The second would direct up to $150 million of any statewide budget surplus for additional credit. The State Senate Revenue and Taxation Committee held a hearing on this and they voted unanimously to move the bill forward. The bill will go to amending order to make a minor adjustment to the language for urban renewal districts. Now, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell has told Congress already that inflation is proving harder to corral amid an economy still showing strength. Powell said inflation has been moderating in recent months, and the process of getting inflation down to 2% has a long way to go and is likely to be bumpy. The comments come as the Federal Reserve is raising the rates to their highest levels in years, and as the economy, specifically the labor market, is proving to be resilient. Republicans on the Senate Banking Committee largely used the occasion to place blame for the rise in inflation on the Biden administration, citing what they characterized as an opposition to domestic energy production. By contrast, Democrats sought to emphasize the effects of the crisis and corporate greed as contributors to inflation. Jerome Powell said, "We have many unusual factors, and I don't think anybody knows how they will put this out." As expected, the appearance provided an opportunity to reaffirm the Fed's commitment to fighting inflation. In a speech last month, Washington, Jerome Powell said that disinflation has begun, but that it had so far been mostly confined to good sectors of the economy. He said the central bank was looking for more evidence of cooling in the services sector, and like in the other apartment rentals. Powell has also reiterated the job market was still slightly tighter than the Fed wanted. Now, Powell said in the Fed's monetary policy report that issued as supply chain bottlenecks have eased, increases in core goods prices slowed considerably in the second half of last year. At least we're making progress on this inflation thing. Good news, finally good news. There are billions of dollars left over in stimulus funds. It can be claimed right now by many of you guys. You just don't know how to claim it yet, so in this video, I'll explain how to receive the stimulus money without doing much work.
Speaker, I yield 3 minutes to the gentlewoman from Florida, the chair of the Military Construction and Veterans Affairs Committee, Ms. Martin.
Gentlewoman from Florida is recognized for 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the chairwoman for yielding. I rise to support this continuing resolution that will keep our federal government open and deliver the vital services that impact us all. Look no further than Southwest Florida, in my home state, where Hurricane Ian inflicted tragic human loss and massive property damage. While we pray for those who endured Ian's wrath and those who still face it, let's pass this.
Child poverty fell dramatically in 2021 thanks to an expansion put in place last year that sent the monthly checks of up to $300 per child to eligible families. Yet many individuals and families eligible for the child tax credit, as well as another called the earned income tax credit, may not have received the money which they were entitled for. The take-up of the credits tend to be very large, and about 90% of eligible families applying for the tax credit and 80% of those in line for the earned income tax credit have submitted a refund. So according to the former commissioner of the IRS, it still leaves millions of people and eligible taxpayers who are not participating in these programs and being taken advantage of. The child tax credit, earned income tax credit are aimed at helping low, moderate income families. Together they prompt the IRS to issue more than $100 billion in credits and also refunds annually. The child tax credit was established for the purpose of helping parents pay for their children's needs. It also serves as an anti-poverty program. The child tax credit was temporarily expanded in 2021 under this American Rescue Plan, and half of those sums were delivered through monthly payments, while the remaining balance is available for families through the 2021 tax returns. The earned income tax credit supplements wages for low to moderate income workers. It was also expanded under American Rescue Plans. In particular, it raised income limits, brought the maximum credit for workers without children to about $1,500, that's up from $560, and made it so workers ages 19 to 24 and 65 and up could qualify. Almost 11 million workers without children will receive this newly eligible credit. Recent data from the U.S. Census Bureau found the expanded child tax credit helped reduce child poverty by more than 40%, everybody, and that's good. Yet even as the American Rescue Plan provided more generous support for these credits, folks, it didn't reach all eligible individuals and families, which is not good. And guys, the expanded child tax credit covered around 65 million eligible children. However, the payments initially missed 6 million children who qualified and remained short of 4 million who were eligible at the end of last year. That's not all. About 5 million eligible people failed to claim the earned income tax credit every year, which amounts to about $7 billion in benefits. Much of the reason why people fail to access the credits comes down to administrative barriers. That includes lack of access to user-friendly tools, misperceptions, and about what it takes to qualify, and claiming complexity. And according to recent reports, consumers spent more in August on buying new cars and insuring them due to high inflation. The average price for a new vehicle in the United States was around $48,000 during that month. Insurance costs also rose 1.3%. U.S. home prices continue to climb during the summer. Home prices have actually jumped much more than before, and mortgage rates have been rising amid a series of aggressive interest rate hikes. So hopefully President Biden can do something about this, help out the American people, and send out stimulus payments, because it definitely needs to be done. It definitely needs to be done sooner than later. If you guys agree, tell me in the comments.
Continuing resolution and offer more than well wishes. Thankfully, President Biden declared a major disaster, unleashing extensive federal aid and assistance for the counties hit by Ian. But this CR will allow FEMA and other federal partners to keep assistance flowing to Florida in our time of need, while also aiding those hurting in Puerto Rico, Alaska, New Mexico, and Mississippi. We cannot leave communities behind that are still picking up the pieces from disastrous floods, wildfires, and hurricanes, and even basic water system failures. This federal funding bill comes to their rescue by helping to meet long-term housing, infrastructure, and recovery needs. This CR also extends funding for vital federal education